channel not long ago because I want to educate people on the real estate process so they can make informed decisions, and also to show them what Stafford, Virginia and surrounding areas have to offer. If it's your first time here, I'm Mariana.Bridges. I'm a realtor with eXp Realty in Stafford, and wait a minute. This is not who I am. This is what I do. So, let's start over. I'm Mariana. Some call me Mari. Some call me Mar. Some call me M. This is getting a little shorter. What's next? M. You might have noticed my accent, and you're right. I'm not from here. I'm originally from Brazil, and my first language is Portuguese. I'm from a small town in São Paulo state, and I come from a small but very loving, humble, and simple family. I have one younger sibling, and I remember growing up, we had some really hard times, but my parents always made sure we had food on the table. I also remember how my parents reinforced for me and my sibling about education and how education was important. So our job was to go to school, to study, and to have good grades. I was around 5 years old or so, and I've never liked playing with dolls. I remember me telling people that dolls were made to teach little girls to be housewives and to take care of babies. And on a side note, nobody in my family is like that. Nobody ever told me or taught me anything related to that. I've always been the different one, and I've always liked playing with puzzles, crosswords. I would love solve math problems. I'm not nearly as good with math as I used to be nowadays, but I liked things that would challenge me. Now, I'm an introvert. I've always been shy when I was little. I remember I would hide behind my mom if someone I didn't know come to talk to us. Uh, no thanks. I attended public school my whole life, all the way up to high school. After I finished high school, I studied by myself for a whole year, day, night and day, to put myself to college. In Brazil, the system is different because they don't use your grades for college. You have to take tests. So if you fail, you have to either wait, depending on the college, a semester or a whole year to try again. So I studied really hard 1 year for the whole year, and I put myself to college, really renovated college in Brazil, and I'm proud until this day because it was really hard and I really worked hard for that. And I was the first person in my family or close relatives to ever get to college. During my last 2 years in college, I was waking up at 5:30 in the morning, going to work, going to college, and getting home around 11:30 at night. So I used to live in one city, go to work in a different city, and go to college in a different city. So every time I got at home around 11:30, I'll eat something really quick, do my homework, and that could take an hour, 2 hours, and then I went to bed. That was my life for like those 2 years. But even though it was rough, it was rewarding. During my last year in college was when I realized I want to go see the world. I said to myself, I have nothing really holding me back. I'm single. I've always wanted to travel. I want to improve my English, which was way worse than what it is today. And I just wanted to spread my wings and go see new people, go meet new people, go see new places, you know. And I was young. I wanted to fly. That small town girl, got it, wanted to go see the world. So I decided to come to the US once I was done, once I graduated. It was my first time in a plane, traveling by myself, full of dreams. I don't remember feeling afraid. I remember I was very excited and anxious at the same time. I didn't cry, even though my mom was like bawling her eyes out. Even my dad was crying. I've never seen my dad crying except by that day. And but then a month later, everything hit me and I felt homesick. It didn't last long, only a few days. And then I told myself, it's okay, everything's gonna be okay. And then I put myself together and everything was fine. I met my best friends the same year, the year I got here. And since we met, we stuck together. We did everything together and we're still best friends to this day. We've made so many memories together, and let me tell you, good times. When I started to think of my next adventures, where I was gonna go, which country I was gonna visit, I met my husband. I didn't want anything to do with him because I wanted to travel. So you have an idea? I met him wearing yoga pants, hoodies, sneakers, braids, no makeup. I was just like, okay, let's hang out. But life is kind of funny and it can turn you upside down in 2 seconds. We both had a crazy connection from the beginning. Even though it was just a date, we both felt that you already knew each other since always. It was just this thing that I don't think I'll ever be able to explain. It was just a weird, pleasant sensation. Needless to say, here we are 7 years later, multiple moves, including overseas, 3 dogs, no kids. And here's how real estate got into our lives. During those multiple moves, we always felt that agents didn't really listen to what we needed. We're not picky at all, for real. If we have to sleep on the floor, we're gonna sleep on the floor or whatever. Um, but we've always felt, at least from our past experiences, that if it was a rental, people wouldn't really care much, and it's always been hard for us to rent a place because we have dogs. So during those multiple moves, military spouses know that it's always hard to start from zero to get a new job, and then when you start working, it's time to move again. So that ends like hitting you hard at some point. There are days that I didn't feel like leaving the bed. There are days that I sat and cried, but you have to pick up the pieces and put yourself together to keep moving on, right? While we were overseas, we were really struggling to find a place to rent here in the US. We had 3 dogs, and you can only imagine. And then I stopped and I thought, you know what? After this move, I'm gonna take care of my family. I'm going to find our next place and the next one and the next one. And I am going to be one of the ones that care. That moment was the moment I decided to try a career in real estate. I've always wanted to help people, but I've never actually known how. And then I found out that I could do that through real estate. back to the US, I studied and I got ready to take the tests. I took the test, I passed the national portion, and I failed the state one by 2 points. I remember the lady that worked in the place where I took the test telling me, "You passed the hardest part. In general, people pass the state and fail the national. You're the opposite." I missed by 2 points. I could not believe. I got in my car, I looked in the mirror, and I said, "I will study even harder and I will get this done." I studied like crazy, and while taking the state portion of the test again, I was like, "What the heck is this? Where's everything I studied? This is some kind of BS right here." And then I started losing confidence, and I just kept telling myself, focus, do the best you can, and worst case scenario, you have to take the test again. But I passed! This job is way more than a lot of people think, including myself before I became an agent. I used to think the same way. This is not about opening doors or filling up some forms. Each single deal is different. Each single client's different. Each situation is different. So I remember one day I was in training, right when I started. There was an agent with 20 plus years of experience that was dealing with something for the first time. So you have an idea. I decided to become an agent because I was tired of having to start all over again every time we moved. So even though we're gonna have to move again, I'm sure about that because my husband is active duty, and I have the feeling that's gonna happen soon. We all know how that works. It's something I can bring with me, even though I'm gonna have to learn a new market, maybe get licensed again if it's in a different state. It's still something that I can bring with me with some experience. And on top of that, I wanted to help families that are in the same situation as we were and still are. So those are the main reasons why I wanted to become an agent. And I fight for my clients the same way I fight for my family. So if you're my client, I'll fight for you and you become my family. And I don't just say that, I mean it because I know how lonely this life can be. That's why I chose the name of my channel, Relating and Relocating, because I think we all can relate somehow, and we all know about how it feels to have to relocate in a new place and having to start all over again. So that's why I'm here, and I hope I can help you someday. If you ever need a shoulder to cry, I said this before, or just somebody to listen to you, or laugh with you, or go get a coffee, or whatever, I'm here for you because I understand how that feels. Like I said, we're in the same boat. Thank you for watching. If you watch until here, I really appreciate you. I release a video every week. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and if you're around here in the area, let me know. Let's go have a cup of coffee or have something to eat and, just have a good time. And I hope to see you next week.